it's after Christmas. Morning, everybody.
There's still holidays, though.
There are still holidays. Oh.
Ouch, my foot. Foots don't bend that way.
I mean, I would recommend not bending a foot a direction that it does not go.
Yeah.
It seems like that would cause you 1 unit of distress.
Just one.
Hi, everybody. I'm just gonna quickly.
I don't have to do that this morning. I have contacts in.
Why do you have contacts in?
Because I'm going to be driving in a short little bit. I don't like seeing in glasses trying to drive.
Boydacious says, "Hi, I used to watch your Let's Plays all the time when I was a kid, and I can't believe y'all stream it on Twitch." It's true. We never left the internet.
We can never leave the internet.
Right off screen, there's a ball and chain. We can never leave the internet. Morning, everybody. First off, hey, Haley, good. About to drive back to the Triangle.
The Triangle.
It'll be good to have you back. It'll be good to have you back. So
have a safe drive.
We spent the last 2 days, Christmas Day and the day after Christmas, at my parents' house. We drove back last night. Not like super late. A little earlier than we normally do, although we did leave when it was dark.
But it gets dark at 4:30.
But it gets dark at 4:30, so like, what are we supposed to do? Leave it like, 1? It's a little early. So we got a chance to spend Christmas with my family, and it was really nice. It was really, really nice. So this morning, we'll talk a little bit about, about the holidays. We'll talk to y'all about the holidays, and a little bit about what's coming up too, because it's almost time for the next year. Neat. But yeah, Mao also won't even be here very long, so most of this stream...
Yeah, I'm leaving in 18 minutes. When I finish my yogurt.
Most of the stream, you'll be hanging out with me. Been a while since you had a grandpa-only stream. But today's the day. Anyway, let's read a few of these. Anise gifted a sub to Mr. Raichu Dude. We got 24 months from One Weird Cat. Congrats on the 2. 34 months from Juliet 27. 33 from Anise. 49 from Incarnado 95. 31 from Salamis Dragoon. It's true, Haley. 26 from A Lost Vagabond. 34 from Shadowlands. 12 from Flip Bentel. Congrats on the 1. 49 months from Cosmic Searle. 32 from Molad. 34 from Mr. Squidpus. 50 from Ultra Husk. 52 at Tier 2. Gold Toast from Drek. 28 from Super Thingy Bob. And 30 from Elfie Goldfish. Boom. Bunch of resubs this morning. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I did my nails yesterday. No. Christmas. I did them.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas nails.
This is Circuit Breaker by Hello Taco.
Yeah, my mom also has an astounding collection of
she does.
Nails and polishes and things. It's wild. It's wild. She has. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a whole lot of stuff. Also, 26 months from Lady Lee, 52 months from Cobalt Custard, and Cabri29 gifted a sub to Trademark 13. Thank you. And also, I never remember to say this, but now here at the end of the year, I'll say it like the one time I've said it this year. You can use your Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe to the stream.
Yes. You have to link it, and then you can do it.
Yeah. I when we first started on Twitch in like 2018, that was like a thing I like mentioned fairly often. But I don't think I've mentioned it this year. Yeah, but
it's
you can do that.
It's the 27th of December.
It's a thing you could hear at the buzzer. I'd be like, hey, if you
get both.
If you have the Amazon, you just get like a Twitch subscription for free. It's kind of a neat thing. Anyway, Cat Peverell says how. I don't know. That part.
I think there's a Nightbot how-to command.
That part I can't help you with. But I think if you're logged into both Amazon and Twitch.
Thank you, Vagabond.
You go to there you go. There's a help article. But yeah, you actually, and sometimes people don't know this. Sometimes like they actually don't know this, so I'm letting folks know. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you do get a free Twitch subscription every month that you can use. So, just so you know, you can hit the button, and then you get the emotes and stuff. Ad-free. It's neat. Mark from Vermont also gifted 5 subs to Mutaharu, Sullivan 003, Rocktron LP, Zero Link 28 in Gutang Clan. Thank you, Mark. Sincerely appreciate that.
It's what everyone wants to find under the tree. Tiny Eddie's cocktail sauce grahams.
Like graham crackers made out of cocktail sauce? Like they're infused?
I don't want that.
See, I would, but I'm a cocktail sauce fiend. Growing up, cocktail sauce was what we used for all fish. Like, cocktail sauce is what people generally use for shrimp, which we did, but we also put cocktail sauce on, like, all fish. Because the expected condiment is, like, tartar, and that's not what my family did.
I don't like either.
I mean, now I like both, but... Oh, it was 1600 bit. That was from Slick Duke. And Slick Duke said, I was expecting a different alert, and Chaz said, me too. Chaz fixed it. So it's another year around the world for me. Not doing much today, but wanted to give some bits to my favorite online grandparents and say thank you for building such a wonderful community. It's a pleasure to be a part of it. Well,
happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, and happy birthday. I hope that you enjoy your cocktail sauce today. Hope you enjoy it.
Have a good drive, Haley. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, probably won't see you today. I mean, we can, I don't know, stop on by, but I just assume that after driving 8 hours that Alex is going to be wanting to just be like...
asleep.
I sleep now. But otherwise...
That's Alex's head hitting the pillow. Asleep.
That's funny. That's very, very funny. He keep overall resubscribe for 3 months. Hey! Thank you. Appreciate it. See, the Twitch Prime thing, it's probably worth explaining if more than once a year. I think I'll start doing it twice a year. I do it, do it in the summer and the winter.
Kepler came upstairs, looked at us, did like a little loop, and then went back downstairs, I think to eat more food. And now he just came back up.
Oh, he's going to be my co-commentator. Yeah, co-streamer today. Maybe I can get him to... No, he'll lay down. He'll be off camera. But like I was hoping I could get him to just stand there when you leave. Well, so I'm gonna lose you here in like 10 minutes. So
I know.
let's talk about...
finish this coffee. Where I'm going?
No.
Christmas.
No, let's talk about things that only you can talk about.
Okay.
How was your Christmas?
It was a very good Christmas.
It was a good Christmas, wasn't it? I felt like it was really nice.
Yeah.
My mom cut down on dinner, and I need everyone to just take a minute to let that sink in. She actually did it. Like, she actually cut down on how much she prepared.
Yes.
Like, in a very big, notable way.
There he is. Come on. Come snuggle.
Chill Day says, so she cooked for 8 instead of 12. So, to put it into perspective,
I mean, yeah, there were 4 of us, and we had leftovers the next day. So, yeah, 8.
Yeah, but I mean, even the concept of cooking for 8,
Yeah.
like, there, she not only cooked less dishes, the dishes that she cooked, you know, she did
Small versions of.
small versions of. And, you know, I think it's just been, over the years, we've very consistently been like, hey, there's only 4 of us, maybe make less food, because we can't eat it all. And I think, and Alestis, Ale Stegosaurus said, was there a reason she chose to this year specifically? I think this year finally got to her. And the reason I do is because historically, we have lived very close, so we could help work on leftovers. And with us not living close anymore, I think it finally occurred to her, like, if I make too much food, this food is going to go to waste because we're not going to be around to eat it. And so she did. This is the first time that, like, there was not a ton of food. So we got through most of it. We ate it Christmas night, and we ate it for lunch yesterday.
And then she sent sandwiches with us.
And, like, most of the food is gone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of the food is going to go to waste. I think it's actually all going to get eaten, and that's a good thing. Avoiding food waste is a good thing, you know? Yeah, we took leftovers home, but, like, just to give you an idea for past holidays, I mean, there would be so much food that we would be going over to their house every day for, like, several days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's several days of just eating that food. And then, you know, by the end of day 2 or 3, you kind of want to die. Because, like, it's very heavy food, it's very rich food, and your body's like, no more, please, no more. So, yeah, it's kind of nice to, like, you have it for Christmas, you have it the next day, and then that's it. It's just gone. You're like, oh, nice. And again, I will always, from the top of the mountain, sing the need to not have Thanksgiving and Christmas so close together. Those should be more spread out, man. That's
Because I agree with Noah. Noah says my body is also rejecting holiday food now. Like,
yeah. There should just be, you know, 3 big meals a year, spread out exactly 4 months apart, and just do it that way. Celebrate the solstice.
that's 4. Solstice and equinoxes are 4.
That would be fine. Every 3 months would be fine. That's a little more often than I would like. Though
Yeah.
I think it would be better if there were just 3 big meals a year,
Yeah.
but 4 would be fine. Anything to avoid the fact that Thanksgiving and Christmas are a month apart. It's just too... No, it's just too close. Yeah, if you're in Canada, it's different.
Yeah.
Here's to the Canadians who have figured things out. Here in the States, we're like, so everyone's still processing that turkey, right? Okay, we're gonna eat everything again. I'm like, yeah.
Noah says, I want bland and boring food for like a month. Yeah. I was gonna probably pick up some vegetables and just do like roasted vegetables and salmon.
Yeah. We've talked about how, you know, now that we have a friend group living in Raleigh, you know, we can do our own traditions and things like that. And how nice it would be to do maybe the solstices and the equinoxes and just make those our, you know, oh, we're going to get together with everyone and make big holiday meals. The problem is that we are still...
Winter solstice is still near Christmas, and then we all still go
Well,
see family.
that's the thing, is that we're still going to see
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that there will come a day where maybe that will cease at some point in the future. But the problem is, for now, we can't really do that, because if we do that, we'll be eating even more heavy meals all at once. So that's, you know, it's kind of like a future thought. Yeah, so we're kind of, it's like, well, you know, like in 20 years, then maybe we'll be able to do this thing. We had some gift subs. Vegetable Sorbet gifted 10 gift subs. Thank you, Vegetable. To Blue Keyhole, Xenagame 2, MTAP at 0805, Jamie Kane 1994, Dragonfire 1054, Shuler Sister 171, Mitru, RHD 1622 848, DS 5000, and Aaron the Baron. So many numbers in this name. Woo! Vegetable, thank you. We also had Nano Sauce resubbing for 10 months. Gamer Girl Life gifting a sub to Valor Loving It. 300 Bits of Platinum Pikachu says it was a surprise seeing the Breakfast Stream 2021 fan favorites drop on Christmas, but it was great to relive moments such as This Is My Clown Hand and the origins of the ska and ham alerts. What a year that was. Yeah, if folks didn't see it, the 2021 Breakfast Stream Best Moments video dropped on Christmas Day. That was a gift from Juliet. I had not gotten the footage to Juliet until not too long ago.
Yeah. In the last few weeks, we mailed the hard drive to them. Yes.
So I got them the footage, and they were putting it together, and they were like, you know, I think I could have this done by Christmas. And I was like, I'm going to put it out on Christmas. So if you haven't seen it, it's over on the vlog channel. And it's fun. There was a lot of, you know, big things that happened for 2021. So check it out when you get a chance. And on that note, if anything fun happened in 2022, there's a link in the description of any of the 2022 Breakfast Stream VODs on the VOD channel, and you can submit things that way also. So if you enjoyed the 2021 video and you're like, oh man, I hope that this thing is in the 2022 video, you can do that. So the link that Mr. Deathkills has there, I'm pretty sure is for vlogs. I think it's been a long time since I looked at it. I think the Breakfast Stream one is a different one, but I'm not sure. It'll say explicitly on the form, but I know that it is linked in the description of the Breakfast Stream VODs. It's all a terribly confusing system. You're welcome.
I'm almost done with my coffee.
I know, you're going to be leaving me
I
soon.
know, I'm leaving you.
I'm not, I want to say I'm upset. I'm not upset.
Oh no, this was a event that happened that no one had any control over.
Yeah.
I have to go do a favor for Brandon because he got stuck where he went for the holidays. So I have to go do something. And I also have to mail something to someone, and they need to get it before the end of the year, so I'm doing two things.
You'll do fine.
Yeah.
You do fine.
Yeah.
When was the last time you drove the car?
Extra Life.
You drove the car for Extra Life?
I went to Waffle House.
That's right. That's right. So you'll do fine. You'll do fine. You'll do fine.
You're welcome, Brandon. I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
I'm rescuing you from the Golden Corral.
No, we don't rescue from Golden Corral. We take to Golden Corral. The opposite of a rescue.
That's why he's not coming back.
So many excuses. Sorry, this happened and this happened. And I won't be home until this day. Oh, actually, it'll be later. It's because Brandon is just very worried about the fact that when he gets here, we're gonna pick him up from the airport and drive him straight to Golden Corral. Be like, guess what? How fun would it be? How fun would it be? And that's commitment. That's the sort of commitment. How fun would it be to go you reserve the back room of the Golden Corral. You just decorate it. It's all decorated.
For Brandon.
We have all of our friends there, and then we take Brandon into the Golden Corral. We go into the back room. Everyone's there. It's a surprise party. Everyone goes, surprise! You have to eat this food. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm not doing that, by the way. I'm explaining something that is a fun idea that is way too much effort for me to actually do. Also, we need way more people to reserve a back room. This is way too much. Way too much. I can't
I
do
would
all
say
that.
you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have. Also, I'm calling an Uber and I'm leaving. It's fine. We got 100 bits from Cape Peverell and 52 months from Spiffler. Thank y'all. So you have to like leave?
I know. I have like a few more sips of coffee.
I'm not trying to get rid of you.
You are.
I don't want to get started on like
A story.
a
and then I'm
story
like, oh,
that you're involved with or something
out.
and then be like, well, bye.
talking about something I'm not involved with, like those cookies. If I had more time, I'd put together a Tupperware and just go leave it at their house. But I don't, because I gotta go.
Yeah, we'll have time to give them cookies.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a
New
New
Eve party.
Year's Eve party, and everyone can help us eat the cookies then. So, and then whatever we don't eat, people can like take.
Yeah.
Because so that was the one thing, kind of circling back. My mom did really good about Christmas dinner. However, she did make how many dozen cookies?
I mean,
I
each
bet-
container was like 2 dozen.
I bet she made over 10 dozen cookies.
Yeah.
And like did real good on dinner. Real good on dinner. But when it comes to the dessert part, still did a lot.
Josh is really looking forward to that party. Aw, has he said so? We're looking forward to seeing him.
Gonna roll
If I
down that
could.
hill, 'cause I ate too much sugar. I got so many cookies inside me. Oh yeah, he did. Aw. Well, I'm excited to have Josh back, and I'm excited to force feed him
Cookies.
multiple cookies.
Yeah.
I ate so
we will
many.
see him tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see him tomorrow. I ate so many cookies on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but man, it was just a lot. It was just
A lot.
a lot in a way
Do you
that.
need me to eat one of those?
No, these are mine. These are for me. So my mom made holiday sugar cookies, gingerbread cookies, M&M cookies, a double batch, although already a batch is too big, but a double batch of chocolate chip, which I don't have on here, as well as these.
They're like wedding cookies.
They're like wedding-
snowballs. They're like a different snowball.
They're like wedding cookies, but they have cranberries,
Something else.
cranberries, pistachios, and orange zest.
Yeah, that sounds right.
They're good. They're good. They're real different.
Yeah.
They're real different. I don't think I've had anything quite like those, but they were good.
Yeah.
My mom
And then there were mini cheesecakes and a Costco pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that every holiday. Like, Mom will make something new or different, and she'll just be like, "I saw it on Pinterest. I wanted to try it," and I was like, "Oh, it turned out good. You
Yeah.
know, this is good.
All right. I should go.
You should go."
Don't go too off the rails. Chaz, tap the sign.
I'll hold it down. Oh my God! Do you hear that?
I heard all that static.
Please.
Yeah.
I know I've been asking you for a while, but please.
You can do it too.
No, it's your job. So if you could just please fix.
Goodbye, Kippo.
Don't shock the boy. You're full of static. You could hear it. You're leaning out to touch his nose. You're gonna blow his face off. Lord have mercy.
I gotta do something, so I'm bringing my Techo to catch up on the last 2 days.
Okay.
That's what I'm picking up. All right, bye everyone.
Oh, I hate that sound so much. Don't touch anything.
I'll message you when I get there.
Okay.
And I'm going to UPS after.
Please be careful going down the stairs. Your hands are full, so you can't grab the guardrail.
I'm good.
Oh, Kepler's coming with you. Bye, buddy. You think you're gonna what? You gonna get second breakfast? Are you a hobbit now? Anyway. Well, folks, it's just me and you now.
He ate all the food, so it's not
You got me for another hour. Let me do this. I do like cookies. I very deliberately grabbed 3. I could have grabbed more. I stopped myself at 3. And that's probably for the best. Because I have taken in more sugar in the past like 3 days. Like than I have in a long time. So it's fine. It's fine. I know that now there's nothing over here. The problem is to center the I gotta like get up. I gotta move that. Everything's super staticky, so I run the risk of everything exploding. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna leave it this way. I'm gonna leave it right like this as a constant reminder that Mao is gone. It's just me now. Mao's the one that requested the M&M cookies.
They were a good choice.
They were a good choice, yeah. Because my mom asked me, she's like, I want to make cookies. What kind of cookies you want? And my answer is always the same. I'm like, I want Toll House chocolate chip cookies. There's a recipe on the back of the Toll House container for chocolate chip cookies. That's how I like to eat the chocolate chip cookies. So mom made those, and then she asked Mao. Mao's like, oh, I want M&M cookies. And yeah, they're good. I think Mao, not to like break this down, but like I think Mao just really likes colors.
I mean, fair, but I do like the little shell crunch.
Okay. She says she likes the little shell crunch. She is an artist. I didn't want that to sound too much like Mallory is a child and likes pretty colors.
Oh, you did though.
I did a little bit, yeah. I mean, in fairness, Mal also likes to put like sprinkles on things, and it's because it's colorful. So it's probably not inherently untrue. Bye. Love you. Drive safe.
Love you too.
She driving. Anyway. Oh yeah, we have a garage. It's like, what's that sound? The garage here is so much quieter than the last place. The last place, when the garage opened, it kind of felt like the house was falling apart. So, I didn't actually know that garages could be this quiet. It's like really quite quiet. It's true. Armor Frog says she's an adult. She can put sprinkles on anything she wants. And sometimes she does. Sometimes she does. Okay, before I get started on this, I need to get these cookies done so I don't have to eat them the whole stream. Let me read some more alerts. We have 52 months from Comadner 13. 10 months from Hang W. Bernie. We got 16 months from Zaospace. 500 bits from Genesis. I can read. It says, my parents went somewhere that wasn't their home for the first time in 26 years because we went to my sister's house for Christmas. Guess how old my sister is. She did a good job hosting. I mean, your sister has a house, so she's probably at least in her 20s. In this economy, probably older, much older. I don't even know. Yeah, some people are saying 26, and that might be fun because it's the first time in 26 years. It's got to be between. Oh, this wasn't a trick question. She's 26. Okay, so yeah, that first time in 26 years. How old is my sister? 26 years. Neat. I think that's a weird feeling for the parents, right? Because if you do Christmas very specifically at the same place, it can feel very, very weird. When you... Like, I have a bunch of friends who are married, and both of their like, they met in the same town. So their families are from the same town. So Christmas ends up being like 2 half-day events. And some of you watching may fall into that category as well, where, like, you know, the first half of the day, you are with one side of the family, and then at a certain point, it's like, 3 p.m., Yeah, what?
I can't get the garage door closed.
Use the...
I did. It's not closing.
Okay, if you wait a second, it should work. The one on the... Oh my god. The one on the left. What do you mean, oh, it is? Have you been hitting the wrong button? Oh, don't try all of them, because you'll end up, like, trying to program the other buttons. Also, if you hit the other buttons, they do different things. Like, you can't... Okay. I'll come downstairs immediately and deal with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Give me 30 seconds. I'm sure it will not take any longer than that. Hold on. Oh god, just stay right there, Kep. Kep's actually sitting where I wanted him to. Oh, he's coming with me. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay, now I deserve another cookie. So, our garage door is temperamental, so this isn't on Mallory, but there's a specific way you have to do things in order to get the garage door to close. It opens fine. Getting it to close, you have to know what you're doing. And I assumed Mal did. She did not. But that's fine, because she doesn't drive the car. Brandon says, so it's broken. Kind of. It doesn't necessarily seem explicitly like it's broken. I haven't been able to figure it out all the way. I did get a haircut. I actually forgot. Yeah, I get a haircut yesterday as well, because I was there. And it's like, I could just get my haircut. So I did. Yeah. The garage door has been a confusing beast that we have largely figured out. But there, again, you have to... Mal didn't even know which button it was, so that was a bad start. It's not a good start. But she also doesn't ever drive the car, so it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. We also had 5 months from Monkey in the Moon and 41 months from Icy Patterns. Thank you. And now, the sugar cookie. I think I got too close to Kepler. Oh, God. Mal's side of the couch has a lot of very long hair. It's almost like Mal has very long hair.
Coffee!
Oh, man. I gotta tell you, I'm not like tired. Like, I feel okay. But I am like a little tired from the holidays. The weirdest thing was sleeping in my childhood bedroom. I think that was the weirdest experience of the last few days. I have not slept there. Like, I've been at my parents' house. I've been in my old bedroom, like, a lot over the past few years. I haven't slept there. I haven't slept overnight there in over a decade. In fact, Mal told me, she said, the last time we slept here was when we were moving either to or from Colombia. So it's been over a decade. And that was strange. And it was strange. It was a really strange feeling to spend the night there. Not in a bad way, but just hard to explain. Colombia was a decade ago. Yeah. That was 2011. It was 2011. We got married in 2011. We moved to Colombia. And then by mid-2012, we left. We were only there for less than a year. So, yeah, it was over a decade ago. Was your old bed comfortable still? I mean, yeah. It was comfortable. The thing that's different now is that, when we got married, we got a queen bed, right? So, like, from the beginning of our marriage, I've been used to at least a queen. And then when we moved into our last place 4 years ago, we got a California king. So I've been sleeping on a California king for 4 years, and the bed in my old bedroom is a full. That is a different size. And it wasn't a big problem, but it was like noticeable. Like when I first got in it, I was like, oh. Bedtime. It was cozy. Because like in our current bed, like Mal and I have enough room that we can spread out just a little bit, where if either of us get hot in the middle of the night, we don't have to be like touching, which creates even more heat. But in the full, you kind of do. Like you're gonna be very, very close. But it wasn't a problem. It was just a unique experience, having gotten in the bed and being like, oh, bed, smaller. But it was fine. I got to bed, and this might be relatable, I got to bed a little bit later that night than I probably should have. Like we said goodnight to my parents, we go into the room, and immediately I am reminiscing with things in the room, because I visited, but having spending the night and being in the room and being like, oh, I'm going to sleep in the room, like I started like looking around, and there's just so much stuff that I haven't seen or thought about in like years and years and years. And I found myself, like, I think Mal and I stayed up an hour. Like, we stayed up an extra hour because I kept finding things and being like, oh man, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Like, look at this stuff. So, it was a fun experience. Like, it was genuinely, like, a good thing. It's just strange. What was old became new again in terms of it being interesting because you just haven't seen it in such a long time. And that was a unique experience. I have a lot more to say about that, but let me eat this cookie. Good cookie. I Spy Moose says, Christmas night I slept in my old room and my dad's. He and my stepmom are in Florida. Apparently my old prom dresses are in the closet still, and I got curious. I lost enough weight that I fit in all of them again. I mean, first off, that's great. That's cool. And then the fact that your prom dresses are still there is interesting. And a lot of, reminiscing and memories come back with that sort of thing. So Mallory's, I think it's Mallory's, probably. I think it's Mallory's wedding dress is still in my closet at my parents' house. So that was neat. Like, I'm looking through the closet. There's definitely a wedding dress in there, and I'm like, I think that's Mal's. I went to prom, but I rented a suit. Or whatever. I guess it, yeah. I've never owned a suit until, like, just recently. This is my first suit. So everything that I ever had a suit for before was rented, probably. Really like their gingerbread. I was prom king. So it was a surprise. That night I had been super, super sick. I've told this story before, but I had been really, really sick. And the grade below is the one that elected the prom king and queen for the grade above whenever I was a senior. And I remember I had been super, super sick, and I really needed to go to the bathroom. And they were going to announce prom king and queen. And I was talking to my buddy, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to get up and go to the bathroom because, like, I'm in trouble. Like, I don't know if I had a stomach bug or what, but it was bad. And I decided I was just gonna, like, get up and go. So, like, I'm getting up out of the table to go, and that's when they were like, and Stephen George, our prom king. And I'm like, I look up and they're like, come on up and talk or give a speech or whatever. And then it was very funny because my buddy knows that, like, I'm, a minute away from just filling my pants. And he's losing it. Like, his face is blood red. He's, like, in tears, laughing so hard. Because I go up there and I'm just like, this is great, it's such a nut. But, like, the whole time I'm just thinking, like, I really got to get to the bathroom or this is going to be memorable for the wrong reasons. Yeah. I told that story is now immortalized on a video that is on Nintendo's YouTube channel. And I think that's my favorite thing, is that, like, I've told this story, but I told it when Kit and Krista were doing the, whatever it's called, Nintendo Minute. I was on the show, and that video is now on the Nintendo YouTube channel, where I'm telling that story, and I love that. Anyway, it's great. Nintendo took it down? What? Oh, that's really upsetting. Well, that's really upsetting. I wonder if I downloaded it. I might have preemptively. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. Did I ever tell you Mal was in that video? I don't know that I ever said that. Mal was actually also in that video. She's edited out. That's a long story. But yeah, Mal was in that video and actually like was also interviewed as part of that video. And like her voice and stuff is in it, and was actually completely edited out before the final version came out. And I was blown away. I could not believe it. Could not believe it. And I understand in retrospect a little bit about why they did it, because what happened was, when Nintendo did this video, there was, you know, Kit and Krista, which were the hosts, and then they wanted 2 other people for, because it was Animal Crossing, so they wanted 2 other people, so it'd be 4 Animal Crossing characters. And, you know, I agreed to do it. It was me, and then, I don't remember the other person's name, Kung Fu Fruit Cup, I think. And so it was the 2 of us, and I agreed to do it. And then after the fact, like after I agreed to do it, I sent another email. I was like, hey, would it be fine if my wife joined? Because we kind of come as a pair. We do things together. And they said, yeah, that'd be fine. They said, you won't have a person, you won't have a character in the game, you won't have a character in Animal Crossing, because they want to just have 4 people, but she can still be there, like, with her voice, and be on camera. Oh, that was the other thing, is that there's actually an entire portion recorded on camera. I don't think I've ever told this story, but I don't think it matters as much now that Kit and Krista are gone, and they're apparently taking down the Nintendo Minute stuff. Yeah, they had actually told us to dress up in prom attire. So there was a video portion where actually Mal and I are on camera and we're in prom attire. So yeah, that was an entire other thing about it, is that like we're on camera, and I think it was a situation where like the pre-production people, and this comes down to like, you've got a lot of people that are involved with this sort of thing, and trying to get teams to be on the same page about everything is, you know, different. So like the pre-production people, who are the people that we were talking to, kind of had, I guess, their own thoughts about like, this is how the thing will be. So then when we got there the day of, the production people are like, why are you all dressed up? And it's because there hadn't been a lot of communication between pre-production and production. Because the production people are like, we don't even use your video, you know, like we are only going to be using the footage of Animal Crossing. They didn't explicitly say that, but they kind of implied that. And, you know, me and Mao were actually dressed up, and the other girl, Kung Fu Fruit Cup, you know, she was also dressed up. So we didn't really know if they were going to use that, but you know, in the end, what happened was they cut all of the video portion, and since they cut the video portion, there's no visual of Mallory. And I'm sure that in post they were like, this is kind of going to be weird because it's just a disembodied 5th voice. So instead of including any of her stuff, they just decided it was easier to like cut her. So like I get it from an editing perspective, because they're trying to, you know, very quickly and succinctly create this, you know, 10-minute piece or whatever. And you know, if they're not showing IRL footage, Mallory does then become this voice, and everyone would be like, why is there this voice, you know? But yeah, that's a little behind the scenes magic. None of those videos exist anymore. So I thought about it at the time too. After it came out, I thought about, like, you know, should I hold on to the footage where Mal and I are like talking and stuff, and I decided against it because I was like, they're gonna do their thing, and it's fine. Is there a vlog about it? No, I don't think I've ever told this story. I think this is actually the first time I've ever told the story about all of that. And, like, you know, you sign a bunch of different things regarding all of that, but I think telling this story is probably safe. I don't think I'm in trouble for that, especially given the context that, like, the show and everything is over. Yeah, it's interesting though. It's a good reminder of how, like, there are so many different people working on things like this, in that communication very often, like, gets a little strained because, you know, everyone's working on multiple things, right? So, like, whenever it's finally time to do this sort of thing, you've got, like, one group of people that are like, oh, do this, and then another group of people are like, why are you doing this? And it's interesting to see that process. And you know, from our end, it's like, that sort of sucks, right? Because, you know, we went through all of this and wanted to include Mal, and then after the fact, it was like, oh, you know, she was cut. But I get it. I do get it. Anyway, the more you know, the more you know. I ate the cookies. I feel better. All right, so let me go back to reading some of these alerts, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about the experience of being back home, staying there, and you know, some of the things that I found looking through my old stuff, because I found many things. We get 300 bits from Goldmage, who says, you know, I've been catching up on vlogs, and I'm 2/3 of the way through June during the move, where you were noticing the differences in your garages and had just got a haircut, so this is messing with my sense of time. That's funny. That's funny. This summer was hard. I know that I've expressed that, but, like, this summer, and I'm trying not to mince words, I think this summer was the hardest, like, time of my life. I think so. I think it was the most stressed I've ever been. And I gotta tell you, I am happy to have gotten on, like, through, like, the other side of that. I'm happy to have gotten on the other side of that. Warchel says, not during 2020. I mean, don't get me wrong. 2020 was bad. 2020 was bad for... It started out bad for us because we lost Sagan in February, and that was rough. And then we immediately went into the pandemic, and the pandemic was... I mean, the pandemic was terrible and terrifying because, especially at the beginning, there were so many unknowns, and we felt, you know, restricted, as did everyone, but we also always had worked from home. So the ways in which it affected us from, like, a work perspective, like, didn't really change anything. I mean, a whole lot didn't change on that front. So there was a lot of, like, uncertainty, but as far as, like, being stressed, I don't know that I was super stressed. There was like stress from, like, the world, right? But as far as, like, you know, I am actively, like, not doing well. I would honestly think that this summer was worse for that. I really do. Like, in a general perspective, I would say, like, 2020 and 2021 had a big, overbearing, like, bad mental health time. I think everyone can probably relate to that in a big way. So, like, that existed. But this summer was very direct, pure hardship. And getting through that was really hard. But we did. And I think the one good thing about handling a situation that is very difficult like that is that you can remember that the next time there is a hardship. Every time you survive a hardship, you can use that memory to, survive the next hardship. I think that's very helpful. It's helpful for me. I mean, I guess I can only speak for myself, but there's times where I'm going through things, and like the thing that gets me through it is remembering that I've also been through a bad thing before. And sometimes I will compare them a little bit. So, yeah, if that's also how you operate, then we're definitely on the same page, because that is absolutely how I view things sometimes. It's like, ooh, this sucks a lot. This sucks a lot. I hate everything about this. Wish I didn't have to do this. And I'll think back and be like, I did also go through this other thing that was super stressful, so yeah. The worst part for folks is when you get, if you can build up, you have hardships in life and you build up a little bit, that's helpful. It's very difficult when folks are very suddenly thrown into something that is remarkably difficult. So for all of those folks, I just wish them the best in the world, because it's hard. Your brain's part of your body, and your brain can only take so much before it starts screaming. So I did a lot of internal screaming in the summer, and I made it, and I'm gonna really fixate on that the next time I've got big problems in my life, because this summer was so difficult. Moving far away was hard. Along with so many other little tiny things. Anyway, it got better. We had 49 months from Mr. Viperfang, 35 months from Layla 3, 51 months from Mr. Incredible Nooblord, not Nude Lord. Although, hey, it's up to you. 38 months from Maylene, and 27 months from Colton KP. We also had 300 bits from Busy Kick with the George Bean Star Rain, which is going to make me hit the button. I'm going to do that. For those folks that are just getting in, I've seen a few questions about where Mao is. Mao was here at the very beginning, but she is doing a favor for a friend, which requires her to leave. So she had to leave. She will not be back for this stream, but she'll be back. She'll be back in a bit. She'll be back later today. It's already 10? Are you serious? Feels like Mao's been gone for 5 minutes. She's been gone for over half an hour. Neat. Neat. Very neat. We 9 months from just some old Santa. I like it. Also, since beans are rolling, thank you. Say a special shout out to the Patreon producers. Thank you all for your support this year. This will be one, not the last, but one of the last times that we run the ticker for this year. And just want to say another thank you to everyone that's been supporting us over on Patreon. Some of y'all for like many years. Thank you. We appreciate you, and you help make literally every aspect of our lives possible. We appreciate it. On that note, we'll be doing. There'll be a new Patreon video out. Next week? Yeah. Because we're just about to January. All right, actually, it's set up where this week is the last week of December, because Sunday is January 1st. Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe that we're near the end of the year. So there will be a stream, obviously, on Thursday morning. We'll do breakfast stream then. It'll be me and Mao. Probably no one else. probably no one else, unless Haley is full of gusto and is like, I want to be there for the last breakfast stream. That's up to her. She's welcome to show up anytime she wants. And then Friday, we will be doing a stream. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet, but in the past, for the final stream of the year, we've done a Q&A. And I kind of suspect that we'll do that. We got to figure out exactly what, but I suspect we'll probably do a real short game and a Q&A. So stay tuned for that. That'll be Friday. But anyway, let me go back to... Oh, hi, buddy. You coming back over? Come on. Hi, sweetheart. Good boy. Oh, you're going to go... Oh, you're going to go over there. Could be my co-pilot. Sit. Good boy. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. If you could face the camera, that'd be even better, but that's probably asking a lot. You're also almost certainly just going to, like, lay down. Standing a lot longer than I thought he would. What you gonna do? We're gonna talk a little bit more about Christmas. You don't have a whole lot to add about Christmas, do you? Because you were here. There he goes. Lay down. Still visible though. So my mom, you know, my mom was kind of hoping that we would come on Christmas Eve. So stay Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then come back the day after Christmas. And I told her, I said, you know, unfortunately, Cap has to stay here, because traveling with Cap is not a good plan at this point. You know, with some of the medical issues he has going on, stress makes it way, way worse, so we want to not stress him out. So traveling with him is not good. And then, of course, he also needs medicine and things like that. So he has all these things that he has to get, and I can't really leave him alone that long. Like, you know, and no one else is in Raleigh right now, so no one can come take care of him. So I was like, I can't really do that. I could stay one night, but I can't stay 2 nights. So his Christmas was being in the house alone with his feeder occasionally going off, so he had food. Sorry, buddy. Sorry about that. He's fine. He was happy to see us when we walked in last night, though. We walked in and he was like, this is great. This is so great. I'm gonna cuddle you. And he did for a long time. And I didn't have the heart to kick him out of the bedroom last night. So I let him sleep on the bed. And he did until 4 a.m. when he woke me up and started meowing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to kick you out now. So 4 a.m. I put him out and closed the door and I was like, But the first few hours were fine. The first few hours he did really good. And then I was like, okay, I do need to sleep, thank you. So let me go back to talking about, I was in the bedroom. So first things first, I want to tell you this because this is astounding. My bedroom, my childhood bedroom at my parents' house has been storage. It's basically been storage. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that idea that, you know, you leave home and your bedroom gets turned into something else. Maybe your parents turned it into a gym or an office, or they just put things in there and, you know. Oh, hey, Mal. Mal must have made it safely. So now Mal is here, just, you know, a part of the chat. Cool. You know, but for my parents, they were really basically using the room for storage. And it has been full. I mean, for years and years and years and years, it has been full. And it's not been... Hi, bud. You show them your mouth open? No. It has not been, you know, entirely my stuff. I would even argue that most of it wasn't. I mean, the stuff that was, like, pre-existing in my room was mine. But, like, the new stuff that had been added was mostly my parents', and that was what was making the room, you know, relatively inaccessible. There was stuff kind of piled up on the floor in the bed, and like it was very much like this is just storage space. So we haven't been able to stay there at all, because it was completely packed. I mean, that room was packed. Not like exactly floor to ceiling, but pretty close. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff in there. And the way that I know that my parents really, really wanted us to stay overnight is that my mom made it, her personal vendetta to get that room cleared out. And my parents worked together, and they did. Like, they took like 8 to 10 carloads of stuff to the Goodwill. Like, not like bags, like 8 to 10 carloads of stuff. They were very direct in like, we're going to get this all cleaned out. And they did. It looks like, it honestly looked like a completely different room. Like that, they did the thing. And first off, I was like super, super proud of them. Do they want to come to my house and do that? Honestly, they'd probably enjoy it, Thomas. They'd probably enjoy it. It's just been interesting because, like, I've been married now for 11 years. So it's for 11 years. I haven't been in that room, and in the course of that time, I mean it's been kind of frozen in time. I mean, like, there's been so much stuff in there, and the amount of work and effort that they put in to make it where we could stay there was a lot. And I saw someone else mention it, but like up to this point, we haven't needed to stay there because we've always lived close by, right? Like that's the reason that it could become that, is because we didn't need to even stay there anyway. It was like we just stayed at our house. Like for Christmas we would go over, but then at the end of the night we'd go back to our house because we didn't live super far away. And now that it's finally all cleared out, I mean, it's really impressive. I mean, the amount of work that they did is impressive. So, when I walked in, my mom, who has been cleaning out the house, had found this Pokemon Stadium 2 poster while she was like cleaning the room, and she had put it up on the bulletin board that was in my room. So when I walked into the room, because she was super proud of it, when I got there, she was like, "You got to go look into this room," and I was like, "Okay." So I walk into the room, and the first thing when I walk in is I see, like, I can see the bed. Holy crap! I haven't been able to see the bed in a long time. But everything looks amazing, and I look to my left, and there's this like really cool Pokemon Stadium 2 poster, and I made a little video on Christmas Day, and I posted it onto Stephen Plays. So if you want to see that poster, you can watch that video. It's like a few minutes long, and it shows the room a little bit too. But yeah, I was super, super impressed. Super impressed that everything looked as good as it did. And with my parents having put all that effort into getting things cleaned up, I also, wanted to put in the effort to get things cleaned up. Like I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, okay, well, what can I take to the Goodwill? What can I, sell to Roland? What is it I don't need anymore? Because I want to try and make some progress too. Because at this point, the remaining stuff in the room belongs to basically me and Mao. So I did that a little bit. I went through and took care of a few things. Like I had some DVDs that like I haven't watched in years, and if at this point I wanted to watch them, I'd probably watch them on a streaming service. So like I cleared out some of that stuff and I guess sold that to Roland. There was some books and old like Tiger Electronic handheld games and stuff like that I got, and put in a box for Goodwill. So like, started to make a little progress. It's gonna take time, you know. But now that we can stay there, every time that we go back, I will try to, you know, make a little more progress and get some more things out of there. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let me read a few of these things. Armored Frog gifted a sub to Chugga Conroy. Hey, Armored Frog, thank you. Also Chugga Conroy, good morning. Because I saw him in chat here a minute ago. We got 21 months from Kokagon, 14 months from Sonic the X Writer, and 3 months from Chelsea X Lynn. Thanks. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing pretty good. Anyway, yeah, it was nice to be there. It was nice to go through the room. One of the things that I found. Hi, Steven. Hope you had a lovely Christmas. Thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. Same to you. Same to you. I hope you had a good Christmas as well. Haven't talked in a bit. It's been a while. But I hope you're doing well. I'm sad that Mal's not here right this moment. Alternatively, Mal turned into Kepler. She's usually here. This is the one time that she's not. She was here for the first 20 minutes. She was here for the first 20 minutes, and then now she's gone. she'll be back Thursday. Yeah, Mal is in chat. Sorry, it's so I can still feel her presence. She is in chat. That's right. She is in chat. So one of the things, this has been a first 20 on Mal. One of the things that I thought about whenever I got home is when I had been, so every once in a while, me and Roland will message each other. Sometimes things come into the store, and even though I'm here in Raleigh, like if something interesting comes in the store and he thinks that I would be interested in it, sometimes he'll message me about it and actually hold it until I can get a chance to get back and get it, which is very sweet, and I appreciate that. And then sometimes he'll also message me and be like, hey, you know, the market for this particular thing has changed. Do you own it? And one of the things that he did that for, at this point it's been a few months ago, but he messaged me and he's like, hey, you have all of the issues of Nintendo Power. And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you have issue whatever? I was like, I'm sure I do. He's like, well, that issue is worth, I don't know what it was, like $200, $300. And I was like, why? And he said that was the issue that Nintendo put the Eon ticket into. He's like, the Eon ticket is worth hundreds of dollars now because the whole market for Pokemon anything has exploded and has changed. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, well, you know, I definitely had it, you know, because at that time in Nintendo Power, I still had a subscription myself. I had a subscription to Nintendo Power for most of Nintendo Power's existence. Like, I started getting Nintendo Power in the, I don't want to say the 80s because it sounds like the year 80s, but then numerically, because they're numbered, like in the 80s issues, and then I kept my subscription almost until the end of the magazine. So like many, many, many years of Nintendo Power, like my personal issues. So I had been thinking about that. So that was one of the things when I got home. I was like, I'm going to see if I have this because I don't get rid of things like that. Like anything that's even tangentially video game related, I usually hold on to. It's real weird for me to get rid of something. So, I had an idea of where it was. I was like, I think I have a stack of e-reader cards. And I looked through, and I had a stack of e-reader cards, and I pulled them out, and it's like Excite Bike 1, Excite Bike 2, Excite Bike 3, Excite... I'm like, okay, a lot of Excite Bike. And then flipping through, there it was. I had my Eon ticket in that pile. And I was like, neat. Neat. This is here. So, I have that. And, like, the thing is, and it's what Villain says. It says, are you even interested in selling your collection you collect to own? Correct. And I've had this conversation with Dan before. And Dan doesn't like it when I word it like this. I told him, I said, you know, my collection is kind of worthless. And he's like, your collection's not worthless. It's worth a great deal. And I said, something's only worth something if you have an intention of selling it. I said, if you don't have an intention of selling it, you don't stand to gain anything from it. Me and Dan had a back and forth about that. He didn't really like how I worded that, but I mean, that's how I view it, right? Like, I have a great deal of video games. You know, if you listen, we don't talk about that. You know, I have a great deal of video games, and I enjoy video games very much. I enjoy collecting video games, and here in the near future, I'm hoping to do a better job of being able to play the various video games as part of streams, and I'm looking forward to that. But, like, as someone who genuinely enjoys collecting video games and being able to play them, I don't have any desire to sell them. You know, if I had a desire to sell them, I would sell them now. I would sell them now because the market is as high as it has ever been. But I don't do that because I'm not interested in selling them. I want to have them, and I want to own them, and I want to play them. So that's kind of how I view it. Do you ever sell duplicates? Yes. Usually I don't sell the duplicates. Usually I trade duplicates. That's what I usually do. So if I get duplicates, what I typically do is I take them to Player's Choice, and I'll get store credit there, because then I feel like I'm helping out the store, which is something that I want to continue to do. And then also, you know, I get store credit, and I get to spend it and trade it in for something I want. So Emil says, maybe you would someday. My collecting philosophy is that I'll hold on to everything and then start parting with things when something important in life needs thousands of dollars I don't have. So there is a, I don't know if a philosophy is the right word, but let me explain it to you like Roland has explained it to me. He said, typically, people don't part with things like for the hell of it. It's not, someone doesn't typically wake up on a Saturday morning and say, you know what, you know, I'm done with all of this stuff. It's not that it doesn't happen, but it's not typical. Typically, people get rid of a collection. Like if they've been working towards a collection and they get rid of it, they get rid of a collection because they need the money. Like something tragic has happened, and suddenly they need, you know, the money for that. Maybe there's a medical emergency, or they, you know, typically some sort of hardship. Usually people that are collectors, whether that is for video games or for anything, they don't want to part with that unless it's like an emergency. So what you're describing kind of falls into that camp, right? Like if there was a time where like you needed, it was a necessity, you would get rid of it. But otherwise, you probably wouldn't. And I mean that's how I feel too. Is like I don't want to get rid of the things. Like this is a part of my life. It's part of who I am, I think, as a person. And I enjoy that, and I want to continue to do that. If there was ever a time in my life where it was a necessity, I would probably do everything I could to prevent it, honestly. Because it's something that's very important to me. Yeah. Yeah. But I think you probably feel the exact same. Because Emil has an incredible collection. Not of video games, although Emil has several very, very nice video games, but of Pokemon cards. And Emil's been continuing to work towards, quite literally a complete Pokemon card collection, or as complete as he can get. And yeah, I mean, you don't want to get rid of it. So. Joel, which would you sell first, cameras or video games? Probably cameras. It depends, right? Like you cannot selling a camera. There's always going to be like a new version of a camera, so you could get a new version of a camera later. Might make sense to get rid of an old version first. Although the argument against that in this specific case would be like, if I need a camera to do my job, which, currently I do, then I might need to hold on to the camera. So, it would really depend. It would really depend. Oh, that's cool. Penguin Frog says, my dad has an almost complete Star Trek ornament collection. He's missing some of the first ones and some of the last ones. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Salamis says, Steven's not that attached to equipment. It's a means to an end. Kinda, yeah. I mean, like, I don't have any nostalgia, or sentimentality towards my equipment. Maybe a little towards, like, the Flip. Like, the original, like vlog camera. And there would be no reason to sell that. It's worthless anyway, right? So, like, I'd probably hold on to that, but like my other stuff, I don't really have a huge attachment to it. I like cameras because they help me achieve things, and the act of videography is something I just genuinely enjoy doing. But I can get another camera and do the same thing, so. Emil says, that makes sense, and thank you. Oop, check out fast. Scroll up. There we go. And thank you, I'm at about 90% of all American cards, getting a first edition Alakazam and Blastoise in a trade next week. Nice. Nice. Actually, Emil, while I was at my parents' house, I found another another little Pokemon binder. A little tiny, I think I gave you one before, it was the same one. It's a little red one, about this big, has Pikachu on the front. So I found another one, and this one, I don't think it has anything in it you would want or need. I looked through it because when I found it, I was like, oh, interesting. And it looks to me like I bought maybe like 1 or 2 booster packs, maybe a deck, I don't know, of some set at some point. And I'm sure it was years ago, but like, it was just not that many cards, and they looked like they were like commons and uncommons, so they were just shoved in this thing. I didn't bring it back, because I didn't know when I was going to see you next, but you can have it. I don't think it's something you need. It didn't look like there was anything important in there. It was all, because I know they have the symbols for rarity. So, if I remember, next time I'm home, I can bring it back. But like, I don't want it. I'm trying to make things take up as little space as possible in my life and my parents' lives. So I have no problem with you taking it. I just have to get it to you. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just like a random booster pack or something. And I don't know what set. I guess I could have paid a little closer attention to that. I don't remember what Pokemon are in it. Like, my brain, and I know that some folks will roll their eyes at this, but like, my brain, this is just how it works. Like, I am like intimately familiar with the first 150, like vaguely familiar with the next 100, and then everything after that is just new Pokemon. Like, I have no discernment of where they fall generationally. Just once you get past like Ho-Oh, I'm like, I don't know, new Pokemon. Doesn't matter that it came out in like Ruby and Sapphire and it's been out for like 20 years. I'm like, I don't know, new Pokemon. Something new. It's fine. It's totally fine. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any other, because I know we're here at the end. I'm trying to think if there's any other real cool things that I saw while I was searching through my stuff. I had a bunch of, so all of my old like sketchbooks from college, I have all of that, which is interesting. So I have like all these sketches because I opened up a book, and I'm like, you know, what is this? Because it wasn't labeled, and pull the book out, and I opened it up, and it's just like drawings. And I was like, oh, this is like stuff I had to do for school. So it's studies on like the face, where you had to like, there's a thing where you had to draw your face, but you had to also draw a skeletal structure with like not wax paper, but like a translucent paper, and then you have it over it, so you're trying to like, you have to like draw yourself. It's a self-portrait, but it's also like the skeletal structure. Then you had to do like the feet and hands, and then I just have like so much stuff from just life drawing, where you just sit in with the models and you just like sketch a gesture, sketch a gesture, sketch a gesture, sketch a gesture. It's just like so much of that. And I have another one. I didn't find it, but I know it's still at my parents' house. When I was in drawing one, our professor just made, in my class specifically, just made us draw boxes. It's like, just boxes. Like, that was almost the entirety of that quarter, was just boxes. And I remember being really jealous of like the class that Alex took for drawing one, because it was interesting. It was interesting. He was drawing different things, and it changed like every week or two. And my life drawing, or not life drawing, but my drawing one class was just boxes. There's like 10 weeks of boxes. And like at some point, you know, like halfway through the quarter, you know, we added some lights to create, you know, light and shadow on the boxes. And I'm like, yeah, I still remember that. I remember that, and that professor, the other problem that professor had is he talked like this. This is all the louder that he talked. So he would talk like this. And if you were sitting at the back of the class, you could not understand him. So I often would try to get to class early, because if you didn't sit close to the front, you couldn't hear anything that he said. Is it? It also made me mad. He was a nice guy. He was a very nice guy, but like, if you got into class just a little bit late and you were in the back, you were basically like, cannot hear what's happening, you know, like you would just see him moving his mouth, and then eventually everyone would like start drawing the boxes in the middle of the room, and I was like, oh my god. I think it was moments like that where I thought very explicitly about how much an individual course at the college costs, and I was like, oh my god, this is a lot of money. I'm dying. This is killing me. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I did leave college being able to I did leave college being able to like draw better than I could when I got there. So like over the course of having multiple drawing classes, you know, it did something. So that's good. Just took a while. Oh, I did forget to tweet about the stream. The thing that I want everyone to do, the thing that's most important to me is that you tell your smartphone. You tell your smartphone and you say, hey, remind me every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern that Breakfast Stream is live. And then it'll tell you. And you're all set. Chaz says, and now you make $10,000 on every box drawing you do, so it'll all pay off. God, there's that feeling. There's that feeling when you're in. I mean, it's in college. I think it's like any college experience, but especially in art school, where you're actively doing a thing, and it could be something like drawing, but you're actively doing a thing, and you're just thinking, when I get out of school, hopefully I will get a job doing this thing, and then I can pay back the loans for this. It probably happens less in drawing unless that's your major. I mean, for me, it was like doing like the video classes, right? Like going through all my filmmaking classes, and some of them being very difficult, either because they were covering difficult subjects, or often because they were, you know, upsetting. Where I'm like, I'm doing work. And listening to a professor, and I'm like, I'm just mad about something. But throughout that experience, I'm also thinking, you know, very explicitly, like, okay, I gotta like get out of this and get a job and try to make money. It's fine. It's fine. Actually, I've talked about this before, and I'll wrap up here soon. Ha! Mal's gone and I'm overtime. That sounds right. I've talked about this very explicitly before, but like it was not long into my college experience that I very explicitly felt done with the trajectory that SCAD pushes filmmakers in. So like everything at SCAD is very explicitly set up in the filmmaking route to put you into the industry. Like, and there's a bunch of like interpersonal connections that the staff have, and like the whole point is to like get you ready and get you put into the industry. It is a Hollywood line. It's like, we're gonna get you working on films and television and things like that. And I remember by year 2, maybe by my sophomore year, I was completely disillusioned with the entire concept of that pipeline, partially because I had been dating Mallory and was way more interested in that. You know, I had been dating Mallory for quite some time at that point, and I remember being like, I'm more interested in like getting married and having a life with her than I am with like, I'm gonna go out to Hollywood and I'm gonna, you know, work on movie sets and I'm never gonna be home because I'm always gonna be doing work. Like that was a big thing for me. And I actually came to the conclusion almost in I think probably like sophomore year that was like, you know what? I will just get a job doing like local news. Like I'll be an editor for like local news, something small, just so I can focus on, you know, as I can have a job in my field that I enjoy, because I enjoy the technical aspect of things like that. But like I'll do that, and then I'll be able to stay home and I don't have to be gone or anything. And that really became kind of my thing. And it was so weird because as I continued on in classes, I don't want to phrase it like I didn't care, because it's not true. It's not like I didn't care, but like there was definitely a big part of me that was just kind of like, okay, you know, I'll do this thing, I'll learn this thing, but I am not planning on using this. You know, I just want to be able to spend time with my, not at the time, but wife. That was really what I cared about. And to be perfectly honest with you, things turned out way, way, way better than I could have ever expected. Because now I get to do something that is actually way more interesting to me, and that is create the things that I want to create. So I didn't go that route of being involved with big narrative production, which I ended up not really liking anyway, because I was on the set of big narrative productions in college. I didn't really like it. It's, you know, it's a whole thing in like, there's the teamwork element and a camaraderie element, and like that's nice, but that's not really it's not really what I wanted to do. But I didn't really want to do like, you know, local news stuff. In college is whenever I started really getting into doing YouTube stuff, and that was the thing that I was like, oh, this is really neat. And now I do that. And I am at home, and I do get to spend time with Mal. So like everything ended up actually working out really, really well. But in college, I wasn't sure how it was all going to turn out. But the thing that was most important to me was Mal. You know, Mal, I was like, I don't really give a crap about how my work career is going to turn out. I just kind of want to be with Mal, and then, you know, let fate decide. And things ended up working out better than expected. Anyway, stay in school or something. I don't know what the point of that story was. 300 bits from Adrian Quell says, out of curiosity, do you think you'd go back to Insomniac's Spider-Man, the one you did the first 20 on, either on stream or otherwise? I played through the PC port this year and adored it. Maybe. I think it's actually one of the things that's on my list, which doesn't always mean a whole lot, because like there's a lot of video games on it. But I did enjoy it. I remember I played it with Dan. And I've always enjoyed Spider-Man games, because I remember renting them on GameCube and being really enamored with the concept of being able to have freedom in the city to move around. So, yeah. I can't like guarantee it, but I can tell you that of the games I've done a first 20 on, it really was something that stood out. So, yeah, and yeah, it's on PS5 too, and they've made another one since then, so it's fun. It's really good, and I think very specific. Like, I'm tempted to say it's having the freedom in the city, but really it is that, and also the combat system. I remember the combat system, it's fluid and it feels good, and that's kind of a thing that you want in a video game. You want the video game to feel good. You want it to turn on all your good receptors in your brain when you're putting the buttons in. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So now we'll wrap up. We will wrap up. I've got things that I need to do today. I'm still. How many days do I have? Fart. 5, 4. Well, I'm still trying to catch up. I'm still trying to catch up on vlogs. I was hoping to achieve at least the current timeline by the end of the year, but it's been a little difficult. I don't know if I'm going to quite achieve that, but I'll try. I'll obviously still try. And everyone's saying there's an art. It's not in my queue. I can't run art if it's not in my queue. I'm trying to think. Things that are coming up. I mean, obviously, breakfast stream on Thursday. That'll be the last breakfast stream of the year. So, if you want to attend the last breakfast stream of 2022, that's on Thursday. It'll be very similar to this one, except we'll say the words, "It's the last breakfast stream of 2022." Okay, there is an art. Let me click the art. Yep. Yep. That comic definitely represents an ongoing relationship I have with Roland. Although, in fairness, it being a little more accurate would not be him saying, "Are you going to sell it?" Because, like, at this point, Roland kind of he'll just let me know things are worth stuff, but at this point, he kind of knows that I probably not going to sell it. And sometimes I wind up with duplicates, you know, and that's exciting because if something is worth something and I have a duplicate, cool. Sometimes if I see a game somewhere that I feel is undervalued, I will pick it up, even if I already have it, because I can trade it into Roland. Sometimes I'll get something that I think is inherently undervalued and just hold on to it. And I generally do that based on, honestly, I generally do that based on developer or publisher. Because there's just a few companies that, like, they don't ever produce enough games, and historically their catalog has been worth money. And sometimes if I see something that's just real cheap, even if I already own it, I'll be like, I'm gonna pick this up and just hold on to it. I lose nothing, except for whatever the cost involved is, but I'll just hold on to it because I'm like, I just suspect that this will get more expensive. And then when it does, I can trade it in to Player's Choice and get something else. Yeah, Xseed's a good example. There's just a few companies out there that, like, yeah, this is worth something now. So anyway, yeah, Breakfast Stream Thursday, game and Q&A stream Friday. It's not quite New Year's Eve. We won't be doing a stream explicitly on New Year's Eve, but we'll still kind of celebrate the new year on Friday. And then, yeah, puzzle. So we have to do that. That is something that we literally have to do. So that is happening this week. I do not know when. I cannot tell you when because I am not sure. But Mao and I, and maybe friends if they're in town and care. Sorry, I don't want to say care like if they care. If they are interested in coming over and being a part of it, they're welcome to. We need to finish that cat puzzle. So that will happen. I just don't know when. It's obviously not happening today. And we might be too busy tomorrow. Maybe. Might be hold on, I have a calendar. Maybe Thursday. Maybe. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. It definitely won't be today. Things are happening. It could be any other time this week. It could be Wednesday. It could be Thursday. It can't be Friday, I guess, because we're gonna be streaming Friday something else. Okay, so it's probably gonna be Wednesday or Thursday. Surprise, it'll be today. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Just stay tuned. We are gonna finish the cat puzzle. So be excited for that. And who knows who will be a part of that. Definitely me and Mao. Maybe someone else. We'll see how everyone is feeling when they're back in town. We were the last ones to leave town and the first ones to get back. Because we were not gone very long. Hey, bud. You rolling? Oh, sweet. They can see the top of your head a little bit. A little pooter. Oh, wait, what did she say? Oh, wow. Wow, thanks. We are going to finish the cat puzzle. Wow, thanks. Thanks. Ah! The cat shocked me. Did y'all see that? Because whenever he rolled, I heard all the... And he just put his paw on my tummy, and it shocked me. You did it. You shocked me. Wow. Don't touch any equipment. Don't do it. It'll be ruined. You'll be ruined. Are you sweet boy? Are you sweet boy? Are you? Hi. Hi. So cautious because of the shocking, I know. When we're up on this couch, sometimes the shocks happen. He does love me, don't ya? You sweet boy? You good cat? Kepi? 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 What? You were gonna reach out and just touch me. You gonna touch me? What? Kepi? I rub my face on this. All right, let's end the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. Sincerely appreciate it. I hope that your Christmas or holiday season has been good thus far, and let's make the rest of 2022 positive and memorable. Positive and memorable. Good cat. I wish I had a vlog scheduled, but I don't. I got to work on that today. So instead, I'll go to post screen and give you an immediate dome. We got any ideas for domes? Ooh, static dome is true. It's objectively true. Be thunder in that dome. Be thunder in that hill. I've got a garage doom dome. I'm stuck in a box dome. I got the no mal dome. Thunder Mal left early to home. Eon ticket dome. It's a Thunder $250, but it's worthless if you won't sell it.